Hey guys, I'm here with new head coach, Kevin Dautel. What's up, Kevin?
Hey bud.
Hey, what's up? So,
it's cool.
Yeah, we're gonna start off with our usual random question. My question to you is, if you could only have one meal for the rest of your life, like breakfast, lunch, and dinner, one meal, can consist of whatever foods you want, whatever drinks you'd want, whatever you'd like, what would it be?
I think you know the drink that I would absolutely choose for every meal.
Which would be?
Canada Dry Ginger Ale, of course.
Of course.
This is a CrossFit podcast too, right? You can't probably say that, but whatever.
No, it's not Coca-Cola.
That's a good point, yeah. One meal? Well, you're not going to eat like something that big for breakfast. I'm diving too deep about that.
Yeah, you're thinking about this a lot.
I'm going to say chicken parm. I love chicken parm.
With the pasta?
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
All right, what kind of pasta are you going with?
Thin spaghetti.
There you go.
Yeah.
So chicken parm.
Yeah. Maybe a salad beforehand if I'm feeling crazy. Can I do that?
Yeah, you can do that.
That's an appetizer, right?
Yeah. It's a meal. It's a full meal.
That's good.
Whenever you want your full meal.
Chicken parm, little salad beforehand.
All right, so we got chicken parm with a salad is the one meal you can have for the rest of your life.
That'd be a really awkward breakfast to have, probably.
Yeah, I was really thinking, I know Rob, he liked the donuts with the burger. So it's like breakfast and lunch.
So the donuts, the bun?
Bun, yeah. I know he talked about that a lot with 24 Heroes, and then he did that.
Oh, yeah.
So, I don't know how I feel about that combo, but I know it's not bad.
It might be too much flavor in one.
Yeah, it might punch you in the face with flavor, but that's cool.
I like that idea, though.
Yeah, it's not bad. So, we're going to talk just a little bit about, we'll get started with how did you get into fitness? Where did your fitness journey start?
I grew up playing hockey was like my main sport growing up. I picked up golf when I was maybe 10 years old, played baseball, played lacrosse, all that growing up, but hockey was just my biggest thing. Played from I was 5 to when I was 18. So
you grew up in this area too, right?
I grew up in Framingham. So hockey was the main sport. I did a lot of strength and conditioning camps during the summertime. Learned a lot actually that way. Realized it was a great time training, but playing that for many years just kept me driven. I love team sports. That was my favorite thing. And then when I found CrossFit, it was awesome, but if I could choose any sport to do professionally, it'd still be hockey.
It would still be hockey. Yeah. So if you had the choice between like doing CrossFit at a games level and doing hockey, you would definitely choose hockey.
Absolutely.
Do you miss playing hockey?
I miss it all the time,
Yeah.
I don't want to join a beer league though. I'm too prideful about it.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. And I hear a lot of good leagues though exist in the area though, so I should probably get into it. Still skill skate. We have a few members that actually skate, so I should probably start doing that.
That would be. I mean, it would be fun to join over them. I could never pick up ice skating.
You don't know how to skate?
I never learned. So I skied, and I could hockey. It was called hockey stops when you would stop, but when I put on skates, I could skate fine, but I couldn't stop for the life of me.
Yeah. So you could stop but not skate?
So I could skate, okay.
Okay.
But then when I came to stop, no.
Oh yeah.
I couldn't stop
It's
at
like
all.
everyone's response to you. Can you skate? Like, yeah, I just can't stop, really.
Yeah, it's not good. It wasn't a pretty picture.
I can teach you how to skate if you really need me to, pal.
I know, we do have a hockey rink in the area, so it might just happen.
That was my fitness start, though. Pretty much through hockey and just growing up playing all sports.
Yeah. So what was it like? I know we were talking the other day about how you have scoliosis, and that's something that you battled with. What was it like playing sports as a kid with scoliosis?
So I didn't really know I had it till about, that was my freshman year of college, maybe sophomore year. I kind of found out that I had it. Didn't really notice it growing up. It was fine playing sports, just do casual injuries. And then when I was at school, I started doing CrossFit. Randomly one day I was doing a pull-up, started feeling my shoulder kind of icky. And I went to a chiropractor, kind of helped out. Did make a difference, but then just started coming back, started having a lot of pain, and all of a sudden I started noticing I was rotating a lot through my chest, my hips were off, and went to a good chiropractor, and they were like, yeah, your hips are here, and your spine's doing a little bit of this, so that's not good. So It pretty much sucked hearing that, but slowly throughout the years I've worked on mobility drills for my hips to help those stay in place, which then helps my spine. And like we were talking about the other day, now snatches are becoming a little bit easier to do.
Mm-hmm. Was that something that when did you start CrossFit?
It was December 2012.
Cool.
Yeah.
And when did you notice immediately that your shoulder just felt weird when doing movements, or did it take time?
Like a year or so into it. I think I always tried to move well, but I think it was just end of a workout. I was doing a pull-up, came down really hard, and all of a sudden my shoulder did not feel good at all, and could barely raise it. Thought it was my rotator cuff. But then kind of like systematically looked at it, went up the chain, and eventually it was like, yeah, your spine's off, which throws your shoulder blade, which throws off the whole arm. So
Gotcha.
once we diagnosed that, slowly started building up, it's been slowly getting better.
So you're doing all CrossFit while you're in college.
Yeah.
What did you major in while you were in school?
Exercise science.
Cool. And when you're doing exercise science with CrossFit, especially back in those days when CrossFit was sort of new and was sort of the black sheep, the not good way to do fitness.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What was it like going to school for exercise science and people knowing that you did CrossFit?
Yeah, I was, people would call me CrossFit Kev, like that's who they knew me as, you know, I don't know. Did you have like a name in college, like you were associated with something, like?
So I mean, I played lacrosse for the first term, for my fall term, and did fall ball and did fine.
Yeah.
And I just wasn't what I thought it was gonna be again, and I didn't enjoy it as much. It just wasn't the competitive like team aspect where people were pushing themselves in workouts and pushing themselves during practice.
Was that club or were you playing for the team?
It was a Division III school.
Awesome.
And so it was our first year too, so kids like weren't really taken serious. It was going from club to real team.
That's cool though.
Yeah, it was fun. But I found CrossFit and it was that competitive thing that I wanted. So I got out of it. So when the lacrosse kids would see me around school or like other kids they knew I was that guy. Because I would walk up to campus to the gym. It was about 1.5 miles up the road from where our school was, so I'd walk there every day. And I'd walk back, and during the summer especially, I'd always have my shirt off coming back. And kids were like, oh, yeah, shirts are accessories, guys. So...
Oh, you do CrossFit, bro. That's sick, man.
Yeah, so they just knew me as a kid who did CrossFit. And at the school gym, and it was sort of like the joke that wasn't really a joke, because I knew that if we tried to do something outside, fitness-wise, that I would probably beat them. And even my coach sent me emails and was like, "Are you sure you don't want to play? Like, you've done a lot of stuff in the off season to be conditioned and be in good shape. You'll be fine." And I was like, "No, it's just not where I'm at."
What position did you play?
Midi and attack, but I was really like just a midi. I sort of played wherever.
So you like to run?
No, I hated running. But I enjoyed the sprint. I enjoyed the chase, and then playing just both sides was fun. Yeah. So back to you.
Yeah.
We were talking about exercise science while you were at school. So kids knew you as CrossFit Kev. What was it like in classes? Like through your knowledge, what sort of helped you bring things into CrossFit that may not have been taught while you were in a CrossFit class?
Yeah. I think that was the coolest part about it was exercise science was all the knowledge, the anatomical positions, the really cool stuff, but then the CrossFit was how do you apply it, how do you communicate with people. So I got to experience both sides and apply what was in the classroom to using classes. You know, this is this muscle and that's why it hurts when you do this, so let's modify it as needed or whatever it is. So that was like, it was really cool for me to experience both sides of it and then go back and forth, because I started coaching in 2013, so it was cool to like, all right, here's the knowledge, go use it in the classroom, bring it into the gym, back and forth. And I started just noticing a difference in the class with like a few other people that I did CrossFit with. We picked up on things a little faster and we were able to just understand things a little bit easier versus the people that were just, all right, I'm here to go to school and afterwards I'm going to become a strength and conditioning coach, personal trainer, whatever it is. But doing it and applying it on literally a daily basis, like, oh, pressing overhead uses your shoulder blade and your supraspinatus. All right, well, now I know how to use that and apply it if it starts bugging me or something like that. So it was just cool to see both sides and then bring them together, I guess. And I guess something that a close buddy of mine and I realized when we graduated was that exercise science does not have any practical side to it, which kind of like pissed us off, that we could graduate and have a degree in exercise science and not know how to stand in front of someone, not know how to coach a squat, not know anything about points of performance. So something we thought was like, you should bring the level 1 and put it in every single exercise science classroom. Like each person should have to take that before they graduate. Like, okay, that's great that you know every bone and muscle in the body. Can you tell someone how to do a movement? No? Like, all right, then you probably shouldn't be a coach then.
Yeah.
So I think it was cool to, like I've said a few times, like have the behind the scenes stuff and have the practical and then be able to use it together. And that's what I think I loved and made it a lot easier.
So what are like 3 things that CrossFit helped you to sort of learn, like the 3 big takeaways from CrossFit that you would bring into your exercise science classes?
That's good. I think kind of to repeat a little bit that just because you have the knowledge of the human body doesn't mean you're necessarily going to be a good coach.
Yeah.
And I was kind of bitter about that the first few years. Like, you know, you need to have the knowledge, you need to know how to coach the snatch, you need to know how to do this and know the muscles. And then eventually it was, all right, well, what if the person in front of you doesn't understand the terms you're using or get that? Like, you need to be able to just have this big bank of knowledge and keep it as simple as possible and apply it to someone. So I think the exercise science taught me that it's cool to know all the details and all that fun stuff, but have some fun and make it enjoyable for the people that you're working with, because they don't really want to hear about all the behind the scenes. Some do want to hear about the behind the scenes stuff, but most just want simple, hey, keep your shoulders pinched back. Not that you need to engage your shoulder blades and your rhomboids, but like, what the heck are you talking about?
Yeah.
So keep it simple was probably the biggest thing.
Even if that's just the big one.
Yeah, honestly.
Because that can spread into a lot of different avenues for sure. But now coming from the other side, what did exercise science classes and all that stuff that you went through, where did that carry over into how you coach and how you train and how you write programming?
Yeah. It's just been an easy transition, or an easier transition, I'd say, when just applying the movements. It's a good balance between the two. Let's see where I want to go with that. Yeah, besides it made it easier, just knowing the right muscles to be activated in a workout. So something that I think Dan made a video on the other day was like using your glutes versus using your low back. If your glutes are working, your low back isn't working. Vice versa. If your low back's working, probably your glutes aren't working. So just the common knowledge of, oh, how do you activate your glutes? Push your knees out. Okay, now those are firing. Now your low back's not going to be in pain. So little things like that in a squat make a huge difference. Push your knees out. All right, glutes work. Low back is saved. Now someone that comes into the gym with low back pain might be able to move a little bit better outside the gym. I don't know, pretty simple stuff, I guess. Like just knowing little tweaks of a muscle that then help the body move a little bit better in the long run.
For sure.
You got a phone call?
No, I don't. Just check. So now we're gonna get into your CrossFit journey. So I know you started here at Solo, then it turned into transition to Pennant, and then you moved off to Colorado, and now you just returned back. So I mean, I feel you there, because I also been somewhere and left, come back home, and then gone somewhere new, and now my home is at Pennant.
Yeah.
So what was it like when you first started? What was your coaching experience like? What did you like? What did you really take away from those first few months?
So, me coaching or getting coached by someone else?
You coaching.
You coaching. I guess those kind of go together. So when I first started, obviously I wasn't coaching. Mike Burns, who's still like a really good mentor for me, was the head coach here at Sobo. And just seeing his personality and attitude and how he coached people just impacted me a lot. You know, he always had fun. He always made sure you gave every bit of effort into each workout. And it didn't matter what your weight was or your time was. It was more about effort and what you do. So I think that just stuck with me a lot. So when I started coaching, I just kind of took that over, like, give as much as you can, put in the effort, put in the time, have fun, and that's what people really want at the end of the day. And I started noticing that people really enjoyed that versus when you would say, I don't know, no, you got to do RX, and this person beat you. No one wants to hear that. They're here to have fun, be fit, and just kind of enjoy it. Mm-hmm. So when I first started, it was just having fun, trying to replicate what I knew, because that's all I really knew as a coaching style. And yeah, just enjoy it. I was really nervous the first few months, like, do this and do that, and fumbling on my words. But then after a while, you start just to make fun of yourself, and people start to laugh at that. And you're like, oh, if they're laughing, they're having fun. Just kind of went from there.
Yeah, for sure.
For the first while.
Yeah. So now we've transitioned to Pennant. So now the gym went from Sobo to Pennant. Dan and Allie came into the picture. What was it? So Dan. So what was it like in the beginning, first starting to work now with Pennant?
It was awesome. Like, if you get to know Dan, you know he's a hilarious dude. But I think anytime someone that's not true. He's definitely changed a little bit, but like when you first meet him, he had that like straight mean mugging face. Did he have that when you like first jumped on?
Yeah, it's a hard to read look.
Okay, yeah, it's exactly it. Like, people are like, does he hate me? Or I was like, no, that's just how his face is, pretty much. Like, oh, okay.
All right.
But so that's when I first met him. He had like a kind of a stern look, and he would joke once in a while. So I was like, all right, I gotta get to know this guy and his personality. But once I kind of got to know him, his vision, his philosophy, it was something that I was absolutely for. Just, he wanted to have full-time coaches that make a good salary, that just love being at the gym, and that they want to individualize programming, they want to have classes, they want to work with people that have specific sport goals, people that are obese, and just have fun and build a really good team. And that's something that I was like already doing. I think we had at Sobo. We had a great community. We had good coaches, but we needed kind of a direction. And Dan came in and just crushed it. Like, redid the gym, helped grow our members, helped them with their specific goals, helped the programming, and just kind of raised the gym to a new level in a lot of good ways. So once I saw his vision, and then I got to see it come to life and see all that stuff actually happen, it was like, wow, this is somewhere I want to be. And so that was 2016 to 2018.
Yeah. So now we're going to transition to Colorado. So you took a little hiatus. And you took a
6 months.
A life trip.
Yeah.
A life experience trip. I can sort of compare my experience in Texas to a life experience trip.
How long were you there for?
I was there for about 7 months.
There you go.
Yeah. It was a life experience.
Yeah, that's good.
So, what was that like moving to Colorado?
It was awesome.
Yeah.
Just keep it simple. That's it. Just leave it right there.
Yeah.
No, it really was. Learned a lot about how to run a gym, different personalities, just a different culture, how people acted, personalities. It was just the beauty of Colorado. It was awesome in every way. Some parts were kind of crappy, missing home, missing family, missing friends, but it was just a really good experience. Mm-hmm. Learned a lot.
What were some takeaways? What were some different things about the way they did things there that you are like, I would like to bring that here?
Back, yeah. Everyone's laid back, really laid back, and to me that was tough.
It could be the weed in the air. It could be. It could be the higher altitude.
It could be a mix of the two, right?
It could be a mix. Could just be the personalities.
Yeah, absolutely. It was just chill. Everyone was relaxed, in every sense. Driving to work, in the supermarket, just having a casual conversation with the cashier, which sometimes I'm like, I gotta go. I'm sorry, you're a nice dude, but I gotta get out of here. To the gym where, I don't really want to do that workout today. I'm gonna do this. Okay, and showing up 10 to 15 minutes late, and like, all right, let's get moving. Right here. Just different. I don't know if work ethic's the right way of putting it, but just very relaxed, laid back people, which is great if you like that, and to me, I wasn't used to it, so I was like, against it. But once I started realizing just have fun, let people show up late, and enjoy your drive to work and take in the mountains, I was like, wow, this is actually pretty nice. Mm-hmm. But then coming back, it's like I did miss it. I did miss the go, go, go and high speed stuff that I think we have out here east more.
Cool.
Yeah.
So you want to like combine the worlds, like let's stay laid back, have a good time in classes, have fun, but we still have work to do.
Yeah.
For sure.
I think it's tough. I don't know if you ever go there. If you ever go out like west, it's just kind of, you're so used to a high speed, go get 'em environment that when you're told to chill, you're like, okay, I'll chill a little bit. And then you're like, all right, I gotta get right back on it, versus just, no, this is how we do things, and it's Friday, we don't have to go to work, we're gonna go skiing. I'm like, I gotta go to work, I don't know what you're talking about. So it's cool though. It's different, not right or wrong, just different.
Mm-hmm. For sure. So now we're back at Pennant, which is the table's a little.
Yeah, you should fix that.
Yeah. So now we're back at Pennant. Just hop back on the team. You're back in the saddle. You sort of didn't really you came back and you're right back in the swing of things. What, as far as you've started taking on the programming, what sort of not really a direction, but what are you trying to bring into the programming that's a little bit maybe different than what we might have seen before?
That's gonna be so loud on the microphone. I'm sorry.
No, it's fine.
Is it like shooting up on the level?
As an update, everyone, Kevin is choking on water, and I'm not doing a single thing to help.
Do you post that too, or do you just?
Yes.
You post the whole video?
You may or may not see Kevin choke on water.
The deep voice thing.
Yeah.
The shot voice, whatever it is. Goal for the programming. Vision for the programming. I love gymnastics. That's something I've learned to really appreciate, and I love how gymnasts move. I love the flexibility, the strength that they have. I've been really studying that for a few years, and I love bringing what I've learned in that sport to CrossFit, because CrossFit's really good at pretty much everything except for gymnastics. We're growing in that area, but I think something that people coming into CrossFit, or just any gym in general, they struggle with flexibility. That's one of the biggest things I think we see in CrossFit. They can usually pick up on work capacity stuff and strength, but flexibility is something they struggle with. So bringing a lot more flexibility to classes, whether it's in form of accessory work or you're doing a strength exercise, then mobility, strength, mobility. So it's just as much time on each. I'd say probably now we do, 80% strength, capacity, efficiency stuff, and maybe 20% mobility. I don't know if those are exact numbers.
Yeah.
But I think we really need to work on that. So something I want to bring is a lot more accessory work, a lot more mobility work, and a lot more new position work. And that's something that Colin, him, one of our other coaches, that he's helped me learn over the years, and that I want to try and help grow with that.
Yeah. Is that something that you see a lot of gyms not work on enough? Because I feel like we have a lot, we love doing the sexy movements. We love doing those cool things that are great, but they require so much mobility. And most of the time we're not even someone who moves really well isn't able to be in a perfect position.
So true.
So is that something that you've seen as you've gone through, that's a necessity? Yeah,
absolutely. I think people can deadlift most gentlemen that are in shape that have been coming to CrossFit for years can deadlift 315. Not all of them can reach down and touch their toes, though. I think that's just a thing right there. All right.
Did you listen to my podcast the other episode?
Did you do something?
So I down in Texas, my boss was talking about how he couldn't touch his toes, and how his doctor said most men above the age of 30 who are just most men can't touch their toes. 70% of men can't touch their toes.
Did you actually say that?
And I'm like, what?
Yeah.
So I've always, for myself, set that goal of no matter how old I get, no matter how strong I am, I want to be able to touch my toes.
Good, yeah.
So there you go. Listen, you heard it here, folks. The goal has been set.
That's
touching toes. Touching toes, man.
I should have. Which podcast was that on?
That was with Dan with programming. I think episode 4. So for all you listening, I believe episode 4 or 5, the second episode with Dan was the episode where I mentioned touching toes. Not other
funny.
people's toes, our own toes.
Gotcha. Yeah, I think the deadlift and touch and toes, or people can bench, but they can barely reach straight overhead without any shoulder impingement or something like that. So I think shoulders, hips, obviously those are the two biggest areas of flexibility that we need to work on. And I think, like you said, it's not glamorous, it's not the most enjoyable stuff, but if we take our time and do those right, every other movement you do in CrossFit is going to be easier, more comfortable, and enjoyable, which ideally is the goal.
So I know for myself personally, the reason why I'm so excited to hear this is because my shoulders, as people know who I've talked to, my shoulders are bad. I mean, I've just a few weeks ago PR'd my snatch, 257. I can clean and jerk 300 pounds, not an issue. But the fact that my shoulders hurt so bad that they're limiting how I do other things, and to the point where I don't feel things. When I do a bench, I don't feel it as much in my chest because my shoulders take the brunt of it because they can't get into the right position. That's something that to me shouldn't be happening.
Like you were saying, you were doing those crossbody Y pulls, right? With 5 or 10 pounds on those hurt or something like that.
I was doing, I snatched. This was 2015 or 16, right? A year into my CrossFit world. I started CrossFit in 2014, and I just snatched 225 about 9 months into CrossFit. And my friend who'd been one of the coaches was sort of like, that's amazing, that's really great. Let's test out if your joints should even be able to handle that. So he had me lay on my side, hand up overhead, and my other arm right at eye level. I was just laying on my side, right on my oblique. So for all you listening to the podcast, I'm trying to describe it. So close your eyes and envision me laying on my side like a beach body pose. And so all I had to do was take this 7-pound dumbbell, raise it up laterally right over my head, and then raise it back down. So I was just staying right around eye level, raising up, raising back down. My right arm, he said shoot for 20 reps. My right arm became a struggle around 12. I finished the 20. My left arm, I got to 6 reps and my shoulder just stopped.
Wow.
And he's like, all right, can you inch it a little bit more? I inched it, it just popped. And he was literally like, that's your joint being in a bad position trying to fix itself. And over time, that's gonna create more things.
That sucked.
So I hear that gave me some motivation for a couple months, like most people. Gives you motivation for a little while, you try to get more into it, you slowly teeter off. Let's go forward a couple years. So now it's 2016, doing my Olympic weightlifting training, doing my first Olympic weightlifting meet. Going into the clean jerk, have to hit a certain weight. I had to hit 127 kilos in order to make it to nationals to qualify. So I opened at 125, was going to make a reasonable jump to 128, just so I could qualify. Well, when I hit to 125, that shoulder impingement came out of nowhere.
That sucks.
And it literally shifted my rib cage. And I was in excruciating pain. I couldn't breathe. You can ask my fiance, I laid on the floor for about 2 weeks in just horrible pain.
So you didn't make 120?
But I did.
But you did make
I had to hit the lift. So I did the lift, and then I didn't take my third attempt. Yeah. So came out of nowhere, and then it hurt me, and it hurt really bad. And now, did some mobility stuff, saw a PT. He's like, you need to do these exercises. Was doing them for a little while, fell off the train. Now, fast forward again to here I am now, lifting heavier, doing things I haven't done in a while, not working on my mobility. Now my shoulder's starting to flare up again, and it's getting rough. So now I'm going to take a step once again to go and see someone, but this time with the community of people that we're with and with the staff that we have, I'm going to stick to what I want to do. I need to stick to making my shoulder healthy, because at 24, I shouldn't have issues like this. I shouldn't have overhead pain and when I reach up overhead and try to keep my shoulder down and back, my arm just can't lock out. That's not cool. So a lot of you guys listening out there, understand that this is something we all struggle with. Coaches don't all move well. It's hard for us to do a lot of things, but these are important things so that when I'm 30 years old and maybe have a young kid, I can throw my kid in the air and catch him or her and not have an issue and not feel in pain. I can throw a baseball with my son or throw a softball with my daughter until I'm 40, 50, however old I want to be and not be in pain.